see, Josh Beck is probably going to retire. I think, mostly they're always going to be looking for a starting pitch. That's for sure. So, if I would expect them to kind of chase after some of the top starting pitchers out there. But I think they do need to focus on bullpen, and I think it's definitely something that they're going to keep their eye on. They might go out there and acquire somebody, knowing the fact that they have the overhauled, outfield. So, you might see Andre Ethier go. He was kind of the odd man out at the end of the year last year. You're going to see Hanley Ramirez go. I think they're probably going to wind up not re-signing him because, just all the number of injuries that he's had over the last, over his stay there. So, yeah, we'll see. They're probably going to definitely make some changes here. But I don't know. I would have to say, obviously their bullpen is going to be their main focus. Maybe add another starter and probably be looking for a new manager as well.
I want to get your opinion on this. This is kind of complete. Well, it's on topic because it's bullpen related. But if you're wrong, I'm going to call your ass out. If your theory is not the same as mine, I'm going to call you out.
Do it.
What's your theory on why, there's relievers, their shelf life, okay, there's going to be, a lockdown reliever is only locked down for like a year. You look at like Mike Adams, the guy from Texas, and I don't know San Diego and whatnot. He was unstoppable for like a year and a half, 2 years, and now he's like eating beans out of a can. He's still in the major leagues, but he's not a lockdown reliever. What is your theory on why relievers have such a short shelf life of them being lights out? And
well,
I'm not talking about closers. I'm talking about like these middle relievers, setup guys that are like the next big thing, and then they're gone after a playoff run.
Yeah, a lot of that has to do with, them, kind of losing touch of, kind of what was able to get them in that position where, they were successful as a reliever. A lot of these guys ended up being, former starters. And so, not having, enough pitches, 3 or 4 pitches deep, to work in a starting role, to throw the innings that you have to face, the hitters as many times as you have to. So they kind of learned to work with, just a couple pitches. Mariano Rivera only needed to throw one. But he was really, really good at throwing that one pitch and kind of knew how to do it. And so, a lot of that, I think this has to do with the fact that these guys kind of, lose touch with what got them in that position to begin with, and they're not able to kind of hone in on it or, keep that pitch or the few pitches that they do have working for them up to par. It's because a lot of times, sure, it might work for a year, but then you go into the next season where guys are a little bit more familiar with you, and especially now with all the data that's available. These guys are able to look at every pitch that they've ever had against anyone on their iPads, on their iPhones, on anything they want. They can flip through it, on the airplane and dugout, whatever. And so, I think a lot of that just has to do with, people just kind of getting used to it. Them not being able to adjust. So until they're able to adjust, and constantly, stay on top of their game, they kind of lose that, their shelf life.
That's kind of exactly what my theory was, is like they get so good off of one pitch, and it kind of, everybody figures it out, and then they don't have a backup plan. Like either you throw 100 miles an hour like Joel Zumaya, and then once that drops down to like 98, 99, 97, people start touching it. That's a problem. Or you have a cutter that, maybe doesn't cut, 7-8 inches like it used to. It only cuts 5 or 6. It's kind of like the Charlie Sheen in Major League 2. He wasn't as effective because he lost his badass mojo. And I think that's the problem with like Brian Wilson and people in the Dodgers bullpen who are washed up. Brian Wilson, he's no longer a badass. Maybe it's because he's, a little older. But I don't have that, he doesn't do, I don't get fear of seeing him pitch like I used to. Maybe it's because he had Tommy John, but it's not like it used to be with him. And once you lose that kind of fear, the the pitcher's done, the reliever's done, and he has nothing to fall back on because he's not good enough to be a closer or a long reliever or anything, and he's just finished.
Yeah, no, those guys, and at least the ones that are former closers, are a little bit more, familiar and not as worried about the big pressure situations. For him, I think a lot of it's been, just not being able to stay healthy and just not being able to, get back to, proper mechanics and where he feels comfortable. A lot of these guys, when they do get those injuries, they go and they change their mechanics a little bit, or, while they're injured or before they're injured, they'll change one, little thing, but they don't even notice it. You know what I mean? It ends up affecting them long term. I mean, that's kind of something that, the White Sox follow closely with Chris Sale, with the herky-jerky motion that he has. You need to make sure that it's a, repeatable delivery. And if he kind of strays from that delivery, that's when things start to get broken. So I think a lot of that has to do with guys just adjusting to the fact that either their elbow's a little bit sore if they deliver a pitch, at 3/4, rather than over the top. And so it's kind of finding that happy medium. And once you kind of get off your game and your pitches aren't the same, it's easier for guys to touch you.
Well, Johnny, I apologize for calling you a Cardinals kiss ass.
Well, good. You better.
Yeah, that's a deep apology. But before I let you go, do you want to tell everybody where we can find you on Twitter, the internets, all that good stuff?
You got it, my man. You can find me at Malioris, Malioris. Otherwise, you can find me on WindyCityStars.com. That's where you can find my baseball team. You can also find, some of my articles I'm posting up there. You can also find my video for Strange Educational. That's one of the first couple pilot episodes that we ran on the show. So, yeah, definitely. I had all sorts of interesting stuff out there. And otherwise, get ready for Cubs Clock, too. That'll be coming soon. Finishing up some of the final touches on the website. Getting some more talent locked in. I got a lot of people involved, so it's going to be fun.
Awesome, Johnny. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Always a good time. We're going to go ahead and head to break here on Bob Sullivan Show on LateNightSportsRadio.com. When I come back, I will be with Mike Dyer from CelticsLife.com to talk some Boston sports. And we will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you. Be good.
Tonight, the product of an body down next to mine. You're so fine, baby, you're too fine. After he goes to bed, remember what we said. We gonna do this right, right. This is how it's always supposed to be. I need you endlessly. We gonna go all night. Tumble to the ground underneath the stars, underneath the stars.
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
This is the